Hello, everyone, and welcome to Evansville Bosse High School for the Tri-State Orthopedics Bosse Winter Basketball Classic. Great to have you with us here this afternoon as the Princeton Tigers and the Colonels of Henderson, Kentucky will kick things off here today. Today's game brought to you in part by Tri-State Orthopedics. Go where the pros go. Stiefel Reuter Investment Group, helping you pursue your financial goals. And by Indiana Members Credit Union, keeping it simple. Troy Dergowski along with Jarrett Lewis. Great to have you with us here today, and we've got a lot of games on tap, and all of these games promises to be an excellent day of high school boys basketball. And Jarrett, I know we're going to run down a lineup of all these games today, but this first one ought to be a really good one between the Colonels and the Tigers.
And really well done by Bosse. This is the 11th annual tournament that they have held here, and what they were trying to achieve was putting together really good matchups. And you're going to have some small schools playing some big schools, but all of these teams here today have already started off with pretty good seasons, and we're getting treated to, I think, a really good opener to begin things off.
You know, they're all different kinds of holiday tournaments. This one is a little bit different because it's just the one game, but you're going to see some very, very good players. You don't have to come back and play another time. So the other thing I mentioned to you off the air is that if you played last night and you're coming back and playing a day game today, your legs may not be underneath you. This could be interesting early on.
Yeah, it could. And, you know, there are some really good players on both sides, and they probably play some AAU ball, so they're used to playing, you know, some back-to-backs, some double weekends, some midday type games. So we can expect to see some really good basketball, I still think. And for Henderson County, they're coming off of a loss, so they probably have, you know, a little bit of a chip kind of on their shoulders. They want to get back on that winning track. For Princeton, a very young team who's 4-2 to begin this season, their last game was a win, which was just last night against Vincent's Lincoln. So there's your example right there. We'll see just how well Princeton comes out of the gate.
Well, let's talk about this Henderson County team. And we are in the state of Indiana. As you know, we don't get as much news out of what might be going on in the state of Kentucky. But when you look at their roster, they're very athletic. They don't have a ton of size, but we understand they love to get up and down the floor.
And they're a pretty deep team, too. They're led by senior guard Gerard Thomas, who's averaging just shy of 21 points per game this season and almost 8 rebounds. But a very deep team, I think. This team has some aspirations to make a pretty deep run in their tournament, try to end up at Rupp Arena on Kentucky's campus late into this season. So, and by the looks of them, watching them warm up, of course, you know, we don't know very much about them, but a very athletic-looking team, a strong team. They don't have much height, but I think they make up with that with their strength. They'll be able to bruise down on the blocks and try to get it out to their guards and get up and down the floor.
Now, surprisingly, when you look at some of their games this year, when they get out-rebounded, they don't do very well. I know that's kind of the mantra of basketball in itself. If you don't rebound very well, you could be in trouble. But the one thing they have done is shot particularly well, not in the three-point area, but inside the three-point area, they're very effective.
And that goes to show, you know, really good coaching. Like, you can, with some of these teams, you can kind of live and die by the three. You can get so caught up in the fact that, you know, the three-pointer is a lot more attractive than going after those twos. But by the looks of this team, you know, you can believe it with Coach Tyler Smithhart and how this group is set up. They're going to look to attack, I think. They're going to try to get their guards involved a lot, whether it's in the pick-and-roll game or kicking out, drive and kick, those types of things. It's just a very athletic-looking team that I think they'll try to pick up a lot of fast break points as well.
I want to point out at least 3 games. I'll do 4 in the shooting department when it comes to the three-pointer. They played a Madisonville North Hopkins team. They shot just 12% from three-point range. Against Paducah, just 17%. Against a Bowling Green team, they were only 3 of 16 from the three-point range. So I'll be very curious to see if you look at this Princeton team and they decide, you know, we're going to zone you, how well they can shoot.
And as a coach for Henderson County, you may be saying, all right, I want the entire first quarter to be all about going and attacking the basket. And if Princeton responds by, you know, limiting how many touches we can get in the paint, okay, now we can start to look to try to shoot from outside, and if things are going well, then we'll keep up with it. But we will not even think about shooting a three. We will stick to what we're good at, and hopefully we'll have some success to start right there.
When we come back, we'll talk about the Tigers of Princeton coming up next right here on IndianaSRN.
Tri-State Orthopedics is the leader in orthopedic care, with 35 providers treating nearly 30,000 patients each year. Our orthopedic specialists have the expertise and experience to treat the most common and complex conditions. For care you can trust, visit tristate-ortho.com today. Tri-State Orthopedics is the leader in orthopedic care, with 35 providers treating nearly 30,000 patients each year. We're excited to welcome Dr. Nicholas Rinsing to our Evansville locations, as well as our new Vincennes location, now open. For care you can trust, visit tristate-ortho.com today.
Back here at Evansville, Bosse, great to have you with us. Jared, before we talk about this Princeton team, we have a really good lineup of games throughout the day, all these games right here on IndianaSRN.
Yeah, you and I, we're going to return right after this one with Evansville Christian, who's ranked in Class 1A. This is their first year of eligibility in the IHSAA for the state tournament, and they have a terrific player in Josiah Dunham, who's averaging 26 points per game this season. That'll be a fun game right after this one, and they're playing a 4A school in Jeffersonville, so there's one of those instances where it doesn't matter what size you are. It is a really good matchup throwing together Evansville Christian and Jeffersonville. And then the final game for us two, Evansville Rights and Althoff Catholic. That'll be a really fun third game. Althoff Catholic out of Belleville, Illinois. So we get a little bit of a, disperse amongst schools. We have Henderson County from Kentucky, and then also representing Illinois and Althoff Catholic for our third game.
And by the way, this is a Princeton team as we watch them warm up just to our right. They are lengthy, they are athletic, and they will be another team that can get up and down the floor. A
very young team, too. Coach Lamar Brown's in his fourth year. He says he likes the talent that he has. Their leading scorer is a sophomore in Chase Jenkins at 13.5 points per game, but they have two other players that are averaging double figures. So there's really not that one special guy for Coach Brown. He's got a junior in McIntyre who's averaging 12 points, and also Edwin Holmes, a freshman, already stepping into a huge role as the youngster, is third on the team in scoring at 10 points per game.
Now, you mentioned they did win against Vincennes Lincoln. It was a 6-point ball game, so they're 4-2 coming in. But again, I'll be curious, what kind of legs do you have? I know they play AAU basketball, but you've been practicing all week. You play last night. Now you got to get up and play 11 o'clock local time. I know that can't be very easy.
It's not. It sure isn't. And when that alarm clock sounds in the morning, you're wanting to hit the snooze for sure, kind of like we were this morning in the hotel. But no, we're ready to go. We're prepared. And Coach Brown, this is his fourth year, and I think he likes this group a lot this year, and he has some big aspirations for the young core and the talent that he has.
Yeah, you'd already mentioned Reggie McIntyre, guy averaging about 12 points per game, and then the Edwin Holmes kid, only a freshman, but he shoots at 50% on the year. And I'll tell you what, if you're a freshman and you're shooting at 50%, that's pretty good.
That thing is... It's hard to go up from there as you get older.
It certainly is. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back, starting lineups, and the first tip-off of this busy day coming up in moments right here on IndianaSRN.
2022 Tri-State Orthopedics Bosse Winter Classic.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has two warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Starting lineups, first of all,
Back here at Evansville, Bosse, let's get the starting lineups from our public address announcer.
At guard number 23, Lakin McKinney.
You got this guy.
Guard number 4, Delaney Moss. Guard number 11, Gerard Thomas. And at forward number 14, Jake Whiteout. Coaching the Colonels, Mr. Tyler Smithart. Starting lineup for the home team, the Princeton Tigers. At one guard, number 1, Edwin Holmes. At guard number 12, Jason Jenkins. At guard number 23, Reginald McIntyre. At guard number 34, Reggie McIntyre. And at center, number 30, Matthew McDaniel. Coaching the Tigers, Mr. Lamar Brown.
So there you have the starters here tonight. What do you think keys to this one will be?
Well, right off the bat, you see, and they're coming right at us as we're sitting courtside to bump up with the officials, but Matthew McDaniel stands at 6'5", Jake Rideout on the other side for Henderson County also at 6'5", but McDaniel's kind of built a lot bigger. Rideout looks like he could stretch the floor out a little bit. So the height, these teams match up pretty well, as you can see with the guard play and then also the taller players. So it'll be interesting to see how much Rideout plays down low or if he looks to play more towards the outside.
Reginald McIntyre already showing his athletic abilities. He went up high to knock that one out of bounds, and so it will be Colonels basketball to begin this opening possession. Colonels in the dark uniform, and again the Tigers in the all-white. Inbounds pass, and the first bucket of the ball game, it's Thomas. Quick start off the inbound. 3 back the other way. Good, nothing but net. There is Reginald McIntyre.
Well, we can barely look down before something is happening right here in front of us. Quickly down the floor goes Princeton. McIntyre corner 3.
So much for them being tired, huh? Both teams look very fresh in this 11 o'clock local time start. Henderson County basketball. They're 3-3 on the year. Very deliberate in the half court. In the corner, the 3 on the way. That's good as well. That is going to be Moss.
Just a sophomore is Moss, and now full court pressure, but that was really well started by Thomas. Getting to the free throw line. Defense collapses in on him, and it's an easy kick to your shooter in the corner.
Near turnover by the Tigers in the lane. Short jumpers on the way, and no good as Reggie McIntyre couldn't get it to go. Colonels wasting no time as we got that scouting report at the beginning of the broadcast that they want to get up and down the floor. But they're also willing, as you see now, Princeton in that zone defense. We thought they might go there, and there's a turnover. Princeton quickly back the other way. The 3 is on the way, and good. There's Jace Jenkins.
I think these guys are still hot from how they shot yesterday. I mean, no worries at all so far shooting the basketball if you're Tigers.
Offensive rebound for the Colonels. This one, 3 in the corner is good, and there's McKinney.
It's a 3-point shooting contest to begin.
So we'll have to throw that theory of being tired completely out the window right now.
And also the theory that Henderson County isn't that good of a 3-point shooting team, because already they've been able to knock down 2.
Each team now with a turnover. Princeton able to get back quickly into their half-court 2-3 zone. One thing about a zone defense, too, you got to be patient. A lot of times you got to find those gaps. There's one right there, but boy, you got to make the catch, too. Second turnover. Princeton wasting no time running the floor. Here's a 3 from the top. That's no good. Battle for the rebound. It'll be Henderson County coming away with off the miss by Holmes. Ball goes out of bounds. We'll stay right here.
Good find, good wraparound pass. Boy, Thomas, you can tell, is just so good with the basketball in his hands. He knows what decision he wants to make. He's always thinking one step ahead. Tremendous basketball IQ early on for Thomas.
Gerard Thomas, he's a big fella. 6'3", 220 pounds as he drives and kicks.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he plays football or not, but
he should.
By the look of it, he should.
Here's another three from the left wing. That one's no good. And another offensive rebound.
Good tip out by Rideout. He's been playing the high post area. Unfortunately, a bad pass, another turnover.
That's number 3. Tigers quickly get back into their offense. There's another 3, and the freshman Holmes has now missed 2 in a row. And we got a foul in the backcourt, a first foul of the ball game, and that'll go against Jenkins.
Holmes, just a freshman, like we said, looks like he's got a little bit more room to grow. You know, he's going to get bigger, he's going to get taller, and as the years go on, I mean, depending on how big he ends up getting, that's a scary sight. That tall of a man shooting from beyond the arc.
Yeah, he's got a long, long way to go. There's another turnover. That's number 4. 2-on-1 break back the other way. Able to get the ball back, and we got a foul call. That'll go against Rideout.
And we were just bragging about the play that Thomas has been making with the basketball, but he's had a couple of turnovers now. It's kind of dangerous territory when you kind of in midair and you're looking for something to do. This Princeton team is pretty lengthy. They've already forced 4 turnovers.
That is Reggie McIntyre. There's a Reginald McIntyre and a Reggie McIntyre. And he'll get one more. All the games today right here on IndianaSRN.org. Make sure you tune in throughout the entire day, and you're going to see some really good basketball players performing here at Evansville Bosse. Second one no good, and McIntyre knew he missed it because he took off trying to get the offensive rebound. Back the other way, coast to coast, and a missed shot by Thomas. We're wasting again, no time back the other way. The freshman is there, that's Holmes.
I don't know how that shot goes down for Holmes. It was a really awkward looking Euro step, but he makes it work.
Ball tipped away, another near turnover, and he stays in bounds. Right now, Henderson County trying to get the 3, and they will. They were looking a little ragged in the half court there, but there's Moss.
Moss, 2 attempts from 3, and 2 of them that look really good, nothing but net.
Contact inside, nothing there for Holmes. And he'll have to get used to that kind of contact. Back the other way, a 3 from the left, no. Offensive rebound, drive, and the layup good. Way to stay with it right there by Davenport.
The sophomore following his shot, he knew his 3 was off the mark, and he didn't get boxed out.
There's a turnover, second one for the Tigers. Contact, nothing there. Let him play through it again.
Boy, the pace is blistering. We've gone almost 5 minutes. It's starting to slow down just slightly, and you're going to see some substitutions come in for both sides here soon.
Davenport, downtown, 3, got it.
I think that shot got partially tipped, too. You can kind of hear something. I don't know if we have a capture of it, but I thought it was not going to end up going down for Davenport, but sure enough, even with the closeout, it's in.
That'll be a 30-second timeout. So 4 turnovers for the Colonels, 2 turnovers now for the Tigers. Leading score right now, Davenport and Moss. Moss with 6, Davenport with 5, and then back the other way, you have Reginald McIntyre with 3 points leading the way, but now you have an 8-point lead.
And despite the 4 turnovers, Troy, they have 4 made threes. Does Henderson County? They are shooting lights out. The pace was just... I think we expected the game to get up and down a little bit, but I don't know if we expected it to be that fast.
Mowry is in. Christian Mowry now for Princeton. He wears number 10. On the other side, we'll see Cole Branson come in. Also coming into the lineup will be Trajan Davis. Boy, the guard play in the backcourt, you just see these guys battling it out. Defensively, you better stay with your man. You're going to be in really big trouble. Nice cut down the lane, basket good. And there is Jenkins able to get behind the defender.
Jenkins not very big. He's up at the top of his 2-3 zone, but was able to score Down there on the block, good cutting without the basketball.
Good ball movement in the corner. 3 on the way is missed. And it will be Princeton basketball. They're wasting no time getting into the half court. By the way, also in the ball game, Chase Diehouse now for the Tigers. Coming up on the 2-minute mark in this fast opening first quarter. Holmes trying to find an opening in the corner. Here's another 3 off the back of the iron. That 3 is going to be missed by Mowry, and the ball will go out of bounds. We're going to stay right here. Colonel's wasting no time as they will bring their point guard back in, Thomas. And also into the lineup will be Rideout, so 2 starters back in. The Tigers have in store off the inbound. They're going to go right back down inside. Basket good, and there's your freshman right there, Edwin Holmes.
It's one of those traditional out-of-bounds plays where you throw it in, and the out-of-bounds guy, you're thinking he could get a screen, set up something in the corner, but instead he curled the screen, so he was making himself available on the block, and Holmes has been able, so far twice now, been able to finish around the bucket.
So it cuts the deficit down to 3. They didn't want to keep, speaking of Henderson County, their point guard out of the lineup very long, so they got him right back in. Here's a kick in the corner. Well, they're playing that little triangle game on this left side. There was just nothing there as it goes out of bounds, and it will be last touched by Princeton.
Yeah, it was really a dangerous game with Henderson County kind of pitter-patter back and forth.
Just don't have much room to work
down
there, do you? Boy, you make one little mistake in that corner and you got a turnover.
And I thought Trajan Davis at some point was going to put up a shot.
Well, the Colonels have, I think, passed up a couple of shots that they probably normally is. By the way, player coming up is Reginald McIntyre. He hurt his ankle. They're going to have to get him out here pretty quick. Colonels trying to find an open shot. They'll work it underneath, and the fadeaway good. Nice ball movement, and they get right out. And they're going to get McIntyre out of the lineup as Reggie will replace Reginald.
And that was all well done by Thomas, who, first of all, recognizes the injury, so they try to set up that matchup, and he was able to get beyond him, get to the free throw line, and he has some options. Thomas is really dangerous when he's inside the three-point line because he can either shoot, he can still drive, or the defense is so attracted to him that he's going to be able to find some shooters open on the outside.
Princeton back with a 5-point deficit, and we have a jump ball, and they'll lose the possession there, so that's now the 3rd turnover for the Tigers.
Another thing about Thomas, too, is using his eyes. You know, he's played this game for so long, so he's just so comfortable with the basketball and where the defense is going to be moving around to. So he was able to use his eyes to move the defense around and find Rideout.
We're going to take that back. They did not switch the possession arrow, so it was actually in favor of Princeton, so we'll take that turnover away as well. Off the inbound. Well, you got to like the intensity defensively, too, by both these teams. If you're going to get a shot, you're really going to earn it. This three's on the way. Good. How about Mowry?
Mowry off the bench, providing a spark. A really good, well-designed out-of-bounds play. They're running so many screens, trying to get somebody open, whether it's Holmes, whether it's Jenkins, and then end up on the backside, finding a wide-open Mowry.
So now you'll see the Colonels play for one right here. This is Thomas. Thomas tries to break him down. Ball loose. Still 2 seconds to go. Forcing up the three. That'll do it after one. 18-16.
Welcome to the Evansville-Vandenberg School Corporation. Proudly serving the students of Evansville and Vandenberg County, the EVSC is the 3rd largest school district in the state of Indiana with more than 22,000 students. In our 40 schools, we have over 25,000 student devices so that every student has access to an iPad, Chromebook, or laptop. We have amazing teachers and staff members who deliver high-quality instruction while creating meaningful relationships with students. In addition to our robust fine arts and athletic opportunities, our 7 high school innovative model programs suit the needs of individual learning styles, engaging students in their interests, all while preparing them for lifelong success. The EVSC focuses on educating the whole child through GAIN, growth in academics through innovation and neuroeducation. GAIN is our nationally renowned framework that merges the fields of neuroscience, psychology, and best practice instructional techniques. To learn more about all the EVSC has to offer, please visit our website at evscschools.com.
Back here at Evansville Bosse High School, the Tri-State Orthopedics Bosse Winter Classic, and we have already now dispelled the rumor that you're tired on a Saturday morning after a Friday night. These guys are playing like they've had a week's rest.
I don't know what Coach Smithart and Coach Brown, I don't know what they were doing overnight and this morning, but they had these guys ready to play. This is one of the quicker games, just as far as ball movement goes, defensive intensity goes, and for an 11 o'clock morning start, we're pretty impressed sitting here courtside.
No doubt about it. So here we go for period number 2. And by the way, the format of the tournament is you're going to have a very short halftime, and then we're going to get underway with the next game within 10 minutes. So you got to be ready to go in the next game, too.
Yeah, the auxiliary gym, they have the next 2 teams. They're going to be able to get ready. Ooh, almost with Thomas.
Alley-oop missed just barely. Tigers back the other way. They'll transition as quick as anybody you will see. Baseline shot on the way, good. And there's Mowry again. He has 5, and the Colonels need to call a timeout, and deservedly so, as they will take a timeout tied at 18.
Lines, personal service, and familiar faces, head to Optimum Wellness. Ask about over-the-counter supplements, our compounding services, and hormone therapy. Plus, get free delivery from your one-stop pharmacy in Newburgh. Optimum Wellness. Save up to 80% on your prescriptions at Nations Medicine on Pollock, your one-stop pharmacy in Evansville. Need one-on-one service, special packaging, or even immunizations? Nations has you covered. For no lines, personal service, and familiar faces, head to Nations Medicine on Pollock.
Jarrett, that timeout was called simply because they didn't find the shooters, and your defense has got to find these guys quicker.
And something Coach Smithart probably talked about during the quarter timeout was locating the shooters.
Yeah.
And right off the bat, we're only 23 seconds in, and you have Mowry who's come off the bench, 2 shots, 2 makes. Coach Smithart doesn't like when his guys don't locate the shooters.
So Colonels, after the full timeout, I'm sure they got an earful. Back the other way, drive down the lane, the miss. The offensive rebound put back, no. Another offensive rebound. 2 in a row by Rideout. Everybody on the floor, and we've got a jump ball. That all came off the miss originally by Thomas. Take a look at that one.
That was the 3 back in the first quarter. First shot put up by Mowry.
Possession arrow in favor of Princeton. So when you look at turnovers and lost possession arrows, the Colonels now have 5, and now you're going to see Henderson County do a little full court trap. They want to slow that running game down a little bit. Good crowd on hand here on a Saturday morning to see some high school basketball at its best. And we mentioned a little bit ago the amount of quickness we're seeing out here. You cannot be slow.
Right. A really good first game to start off this Winter Classic.
And there's the travel. That is only the 4th turnover now for the Tigers.
The defense, you could see the top of that zone. One of the guys up there was Moss, but they're getting a little more extended out.
Yeah.
They recognize, whether it's Jenkins or Mowry, these guys have some range. They've both knocked down a 3 already.
But it has been a little bit since the Colonels have hit a 3, and that one's going to be off the mark. Thomas tried to get his first 3 of the ball game. Here's your freshman again, and got the roll. 3-pointer. That'll be Holmes.
First one for Holmes, and it all started with the missed steal attempt, so you risk going after the basketball, and then that leaves up Holmes being wide open with the extra pass.
Hey, where were those soft rims when I was playing? Here's the 3, back the other way, missed. Moss trying to get his 3rd 3 of the ball game. Well, I'll tell you what, transition defense is so big right now, because if you don't sprint back They're going to be in really big trouble. They get down the floor, speaking of the Tigers, maybe as anybody as I've seen in a long time. Big screen up front. A little give and go, and a blocked shot is Reggie McIntyre. Can't get it to go. And we're quickly back the other way. Little floater, good on the baseline. Good job again by Moss, who has 8. There's a 3. Wow, Mowry again. He has 8. Near travel. One thing, Thomas got hung up in the air. It looked like he came right back down. Nice pass underneath. Basket good the other way. Colonels continue to put pressure on as McKinney now has 5.
And the pace continues. Really good dump down pass with right out in the high post.
So you and I are going to need to go to the break room at halftime.
Yeah. We don't get much time either in between quarters and games.
Shot in the corner, 3, no. As Reggie McIntyre can't get it to go, we'll quickly go back the other way. Even though they get in the half court, either one of these two teams, it doesn't feel like a half court. You know what I'm saying? It just feels like it's still so up-tempo.
Oh, it is. And the other thing, too, it hasn't given coaches time to get in some subs. You know, you're having the usual suspects out there. It looks like the whole starting 5 is in for Henderson County.
Yeah, if you're sitting over there waiting to get in, you might be waiting a little bit. Colonels down by 2 with the basketball. Well, their guards really handle it well, but sometimes they find themselves getting in a precarious situation. That's going to be a reaching foul on Reggie McIntyre, and now your subs can come in.
It was intentional, too. It was McIntyre. He wanted to get the subs in, so he just gave one.
So that's how you do that when you're tired, just go foul somebody?
You don't see that very often, and it's just amazing that in our first opening game, 11 o'clock, that these guys are playing with the intensity that they are, and so that's where you got to throw that out there. You got to have somebody take a foul for you.
So after the foul and the subs in, it'll be Colonel's basketball. Well, they really love to get it in Thomas's hands, and that's why.
I think Thomas can have a lot of success if he does that a little bit more. That's just his 4th point. I mean, look at this guy play.
Oh, red ball that way. It's going to be Colonel's basketball, and they're going to get Reggie McIntyre with his 2nd foul, and that was right in front of us, as you've alluded to, and that they were letting him play.
If someone's going to dive over this table going after a loose ball, I hope it is not Gerard Thomas.
Well, the good news is I'm a little bit behind you. You'll get it first, so sorry.
Maybe some of this equipment will break the fall.
Tied at 24. Again, at halftime, they will be very quick. There's another turnover. Back the other way we go, and the layup good at the other end by Reginald McIntyre. He has 5.
Well done by McIntyre. Thomas tried that spin move again right at the elbow, and they were ready for it.
Thomas on the drive, nothing there. The kick out and the 3. Back the other way. There's Davenport. He has 8.
Really good kick again. Thomas showing off the vision that time. He had a clear lane driving baseline, but he found one of the best shooters in the gym today in Davenport.
Going to see McKinney come back in for the Colonels next time out. We've gone back and forth here in this first game. Wide open 3, no good from the elbow by Mowry. Another offensive rebound, the kick out, and that 3 will be missed by Jenkins.
Henderson County dodging 2 bullets that time. Their 2 best 3-point shooters having really good looks.
Ball knocked out of bounds, last touched by Mowry, and we had mentioned a little bit ago that McKinney coming into the lineup. We'll also see Rideout back in. And I'll tell you what, Thomas needs a little bit of a break. He only got out for seconds in that first quarter, and he is really tired, you can tell.
And he'll probably have another short break again. He'll finish out probably the final minute and a half or 2 minutes.
That's Rideout. Strong drive down the lane, shot a little bit short. Somehow getting the offensive rebound is McKinney, and they'll get another possession.
The Colonels are very tough on the boards, especially on the offensive boards. Probably leading that category as we speak.
Oh, we got an illegal screen against Rideout. That'll be the 7th turnover. Yeah, you got to get set on those screens, and officials are told to really pay close attention to that because you see the slip screen, and that's a little bit different. You still have to establish position, but you got to establish that position for a second or so. So now Princeton a chance to regain the lead. Mowry, 8 points in the opening half of play.
And I think he's played this entire second quarter off the bench.
Yeah, he has been a huge spark for the Tigers. And look at that defensive intensity. You got to get that shot off quickly, and they did in the corner.
My goodness.
As Mowry, another big bucket.
Third triple for Mowry. Deep in the corner, too.
Another quick release. The left-hander shooting the air ball from the left side is Branson. Did you happen to notice, taking a look at he catch and shoot, you don't have a whole lot of time.
And that's good recognition, too. The assist going to Diehouse. But he caught it, and he immediately got into the corner with that extra pass.
Branson out after the missed shot, and right back into the lineup will be Thomas.
Mowry, he's got some growing to do, too. He's just a sophomore. There's that slip again. That's how they scored on their first out-of-bounds play. Thomas was wide open.
Yeah, you can be guaranteed Princeton will talk about that at halftime. So far, nothing decided in this first half. By the way, Matt McDaniel in the lineup now for the first time for Princeton. After the missed shot, quickly back the other way. Minutes probably too much to ask to hold it. That's a travel there. That'll be the 8th turnover.
I think Coach Smithart wanted Moss to shoot that three when he got that transition pass from Thomas. There was nobody within a couple feet of Moss.
You know, there was a player I knew of at Eastern Hancock named Jarrett Lewis. You didn't have to ask him to shoot it, did you?
Right.
So 50 seconds remaining. The lob pass underneath. Reverse layup good. What athleticism there by Reginald McIntyre. He has 7. Too much to hold it, I guarantee it. The shot missed from the left wing. Here come the Tigers again.
Well, that time Moss shot it, but just off the mark, and this will set up Princeton to possibly extend their lead into the locker room.
20 seconds might be about the right amount of time in this motion offense that they are running. If they can get a layup out of this, they would love to do it, but you got to start your move here pretty quickly, and you end up with a jump ball. You lose the possession arrow, but still 8.7 to go.
Substitution, Henderson County, number 3, Cooper Davenport.
Cooper Davenport back in. Gives them a little more guard action here to perhaps guard against the 3. Still plenty of time. You're going to get a good look here. Tigers have 4. Now down to 1. Here's the fadeaway. No, and that's going to do it for the opening half of play. Princeton and Henderson County back and forth, but Princeton leads it 31-29.
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. Do you know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year? All sorts of sports? Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
You want a sports degree that is beyond the game? A degree that immerses you from day one and launches you into the business side of sports. With a sports management major from IUPUI's School of Health and Human Sciences, you'll have insider access to sports professionals and will learn from faculty with years of teaching and industry experience. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sport industry career.
Welcome to Benjamin Bosse High School, where your education is our #1 priority. As we show you around the school, you will see that we have some of the best and unique academic classes that makes Bosse one of Evansville's best kept secrets.
Hidden gem. Diverse. Family. Welcoming. Accepting. Eager.
Ever-changing.
Here at Bosse High School, we take pride in giving our students the best learning environment possible while ensuring safety and security. We are well known for our sports teams and our sporting events. There are 13 IHSAA sports teams available to students throughout the school year. One thing that we're very proud of and unique to Bosse High School is that we offer programs such as Toyota 4T program, which our students learn about advanced manufacturing practices, and it gives students a career pathway into Toyota Motor Manufacturing of Indiana. We have our own radio and television program where students have the chance to earn college credits from the University of Southern Indiana and pursue a career pathway in broadcast television production. We strive for academic excellence by offering advanced placement, academic honors, and dual credit courses, as well as 5 different career pathways. Here at Bosse High School, we also offer a vast array of student activities that students can get involved into, such as the International Club, the Interact Club, being involved in National Honor Society, our academic teams such as Spell Bowl or Academic Super Bowl. At Bosse High School, we provide a safe and welcoming environment, embracing all diversity, ensuring academic excellence, honoring achievement, and promoting pride in ourselves, our school, and our community.
After a certain amount of practice, you can just tell from the texture of the ball that it started to be broken in completely. And texture begins to change. It kind of changes from orange to almost brown. It's ready to move over to the arena for the game. We select 3 of them, take them to the referee's room, and they actually pick the one that goes for the game. Having Spalding deliver such a consistent product and the fact that you never have to worry about the basketball really adds a component to the game that no one even really thinks about for those big games.
Back here once again at Evansville Bosse, where we saw a heck of a first half. Princeton and Henderson County going at it here at halftime. I was thinking as you see the lineup today in the Bosse Winter Classic, and there's going to be some great games coming up. I'm glad we only have to do 3 because we get past 3, we wouldn't make it.
I don't know if we'd, make it past number 4, number 5. It'd be a long day. You can buy a $10 ticket. You can get all the games today, all 7 of them.
That is fantastic. And you think about that, $10 for all these games, you're going to see some great basketball for sure. Your thoughts on the first half? We mentioned it, they went up and down, up and down, up and down, and hit some key shots, and again, nothing decided because we got a lot of basketball to be played, but I thought it was really good, exciting basketball.
It sure was, and it was fast-paced. It wasn't necessarily too much up and down, but the play in the half court just seemed so fast. It almost seemed like they were playing on one half of the court. If you were playing like in a 3-on-3 tournament, and you got to bring the ball back out on the outside the three-point line, and then you can start your offense. That's how fast it seemed, just constantly getting up and down the floor. And just really good high-powered half-court offense, really good ball movement, really good movement without the basketball. We didn't see very many fouls, just 6 total fouls called. A couple of those shots from Mowry off the bench. He's been terrific. He leads all scorers with 11. 3 made three-pointers for him. I think he's 4 of 5 shooting the basketball in total. So he's had quite the first half, but it's going to be close the rest of the way. I don't think the largest lead got up to, what, 5 or 6
5
points?
or 6, yeah. Yeah, it was not much. You speak of Mowry with 11. Edwin Holmes has 8 unofficially. Reginald McIntyre with 7. Jace Jennings with 5. Those, again, the scores for Princeton. And on the other side for the Colonels, they were led by Dwayne Moss with 8. Davenport with 8. McKinney had 5. And then Thomas with 6 in the first half.
11 total threes in that first half, too. Princeton had 6 of them.
Well, here we go, and hold on to your seats. Hide the women and children, because we're going to have a fun second half, I am sure. Adjustments will be made at halftime. Drive in the lane. Henderson County wanted a foul call, and they're going to let them play a little bit here. And there's a drive, and Thomas now with 8.
Thomas going back to his bread and butter. That nice spin move when he got in the paint. I thought something was going to get called there. Coach Brown was looking for a travel.
Well, that's going to be a foul, and that's going to go against Reggie McIntyre, and that's going to be his 3rd. I think he had the steal there. There was really no need to extend that arm, and that's what got him in trouble. But I tell you what, and I know fans, they say, boy, you got to call this, call that. But the thing is, you got to let them play a little bit, because they're going to have to learn how to play in the tournament when things really get physical.
Exactly. And the referees, they've been letting them play this entire game.
Boy, Henderson County really crashing the boards. Ended up with a couple of offensive rebounds in that possession, and McKinney got a couple of those against very bad odds. It looked like he was not going to get in there to get that ball, but he did a great job hustling after that loose basketball.
Coach Brown not happy with the guys out there right now. There's been a lot of offensive rebounds given up to Henderson County. They're definitely leading that category.
They're not afraid to take it inside. They're, again, a little bit outsized, but they've been able to do a nice job offensive rebounding, and that's going to be a foul against the Tigers, and that's going to go against Diehouse. Thought he might have taken a charge there, but he was not in position.
That's a tough take. Props to Diehouse for the attempt on Thomas.
It's always a tough call as that ball went underneath. I don't think that did not go in the basket. It went into the net and then came back down, and the Tigers thought that the basket was made.
Yeah,
Taking
watch
a look
this. Reginald McIntyre thinks it goes in.
You don't see that very often, do you?
No, probably never. I don't think I've ever seen that.
So they will keep it right here with the Colonels, and you're right. Producer Jerry said it is a violation. The ball can't go under and go through that cylinder. Now it can touch the net, but it can't go through the cylinder and then come back down. That should be Princeton basketball. I know they're discussing it, but they're going to go ahead and give it to the Colonels. The two coaches looking at each other and kind of laughing about that one.
So, Coach Smithart said something, and Coach Brown couldn't help himself.
You know, and I've got to tell you, in the officials' defense, as that's a nice pass underneath, basket good by Rideout. He'll go to the line. In their defense, when you talk about having to make a split decision like that, and sometimes you can't believe what you just saw. So I know they got together and discussed it as you take that replay. There it is. See, that's just tough.
It hit the backboard. It went through the net, hits the square, and then came back through. I don't think I've ever seen that.
I have not either. There's a foul on the backcourt. That'll go against Moss, just his first.
Well, Princeton already has 3 team fouls, and that's how many they had the entire first half. So the defense is going to get a little bit more risky, a little bit more up in your grill, which is kind of hard to believe after what we saw in half number 1.
Well, that pressure really causing some issues there for the Tigers, and I'm pretty sure Moss might have taken A poke to the eye. There's a turnover. Steal at the other end, and the basket good by Thomas.
Just the explosiveness. Thomas is just a freak athlete.
Princeton now with 5 turnovers, and this half-court defense giving the Tigers a little bit of trouble.
You can kind of see a little bit of wear and tear around one of Moss's eyes. I think he did get poked, and then Thomas came through and cleaned it up.
3 in the corner, no good by Jenkins, and there's a turnover. Quickly to the basket, and good. There is Reginald McIntyre.
McIntyre is kind of a ball magnet around the hoop.
That 3 is just in and out. Davenport can't get it to go.
Seems like every time Reginald has scored, it has been driving to the basket.
Well, we got bodies on the floor, and that will be a jump ball. You know, one thing a lot of coaches do is they jump up off the bench and they want that timeout. I would rather preserve a timeout. I know the possession is always important, but that timeout could be much more important. So I'm never a guy that just jumps a timeout. You know, so I don't know what your philosophy is.
That's how I feel about delay of game penalties in football.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
why call the timeout?
The tendency is, coaches really like to call those timeouts and avoid the penalty, but I think I'd rather preserve them.
Yeah, 5 yards, I understand, but still, you may need that timeout late in the ball game and you don't have one. Boy, the Colonel's really up in your grill defensively here in the half court. On the reversal, here's a 3 on the way. Boy, that one way off the mark by Diehouse. Henderson County back the other way, and that's an easy call there. They will get Gerard Thomas on the offensive foul, and that's now 10 turnovers.
Even if he didn't kind of extend that off on a little bit, I think they were still going to call an offensive foul on Thomas.
I'm going to ask you a question here, and I know you're not as old as I am, but what is it about players anymore not pulling up and shooting a jump shot if that were the case right there instead of trying to drive into the defender?
That's an interesting point. You don't really see a game like that from an individual perspective. Not very many pull-up jumpers anymore. Maybe a travel, nothing called.
Boy, how did that one come in and out there? Matt McDaniel couldn't get it to go. Here's a shot from the right side. 3 no good by Davenport. My contention is, there's a collision near the sideline. They'll get Davenport. My contention is if you can learn to pull up that 13 to 14-foot jumper instead of trying to take it into the defender, you're going to avoid the foul, and you might even have a chance to score. Just, I guess, the thinking process.
I guess the argument would be, well, you have a chance of at least drawing a foul if you miss a shot, if you drive at the defender. So the percentage of getting a shot off and making a shot is probably just a little bit higher if you're going at the defender and at least attempting to draw a foul.
Nice. Fake down the lane, McDaniel for 2. McDaniel getting on the board for the first time. Well, that could have been a close call right there for Thomas again.
Thomas is probably going to have a lot of close calls for the duration of this game.
Well, he is so big and strong, as we've alluded to. He's going to get some of those just because of his strength. Tried to draw one there.
And they're trying to take him.
You know, officials are now to the point they don't take that flopping very well either. Now the Tigers, chance to regain the lead here in the third. Game 1 today.
You get fined in the NBA. What should the punishment be for flopping in high school ball?
Well, I'm at least going to give you a technical. We got a timeout by the Tigers here in the third quarter. And it is going to be, I believe, a full timeout. We'll take a break as well.
Serving all of Indiana, Indiana Members Credit Union has continued to grow while keeping our focus on you. We offer free personal checking and savings accounts, the lowest auto loan rates available, and a variety of mortgage loan options customized to your needs. For a limited time, stop in and receive a $200 bonus with a new savings, checking, and direct deposit. East Side, West Side, or our Newburgh location, stop by today and discover the IMCU difference and get your $200 bonus. At IMCU, it's you that matters.
We want to remind everybody that will be tuned in throughout the day that each game now from the start or end of this one to the start of the next one, there's only about 10 minutes in between games. You've got enough time to get a snack, sit down, get ready for the next game because it's going to happen quickly.
If you're coach, you go grab some popcorn.
Yep. Well, he may not come back after he gets the popcorn, but
that's true.
We know his reputation of eating all the popcorn. You know, and the popcorn here is, I hear, excellent too.
I'll have to try it.
But we hope that Coach Myers is doing well there in Indianapolis. And does he get the day off today, or?
I don't know.
Oh, he's at a wife's tea. Well, that's
a what?
A wife's tea party. Wasn't that special? Get a spot of tea.
He's a trooper.
Isn't he? And I didn't know he was that cultured. 3.5 to go here in the third. Nice pass underneath, and how about the block right there of Thomas? You better take it up strong or you're going to get it blocked. Lob pass underneath, and there's contact at the other end. That'll put right out at the line for 2.
I didn't think that pass was going to make it down to right out. It took a while to get to him from Thomas. Right out's had kind of a quiet game. He's been crashing the old boards pretty well.
You know, the thing is, he doesn't have a whole lot of meat on those bones, but he's able to somehow sneak in there and get some offensive rebounds. I used to look that skinny. Second free throw is good.
You got pictures to prove that?
I will show. I'll get you some sometime. Back to a 3-point lead. Well, I'll tell you what, and I know we don't want to belate this thing too long. I would be dead tired by the time this game is over with. Got a tie up here, and the possession arrow will go in favor of Henderson. So that is going to be turnover number 6 now on the Tigers. We say turnover plus losing the possession arrow, of course. We have not had enough separation to say that one team is going to take control of this one. I just don't think you can. These teams are so evenly matched that you can say that now. That's a nice pass, able to get that one and lay it in. That was good body control there by McKinney.
Thomas is just relentless at getting to the free throw line or to the elbow and looking for his dump down. Right out for the first time in there, that time McKinney.
And you can see why they don't like him out of the lineup. He does a little bit of everything. Tigers get it to the open man. Here's the 3. Good the other way. There's Diehouse, his first bucket.
And a really good kick out by McDaniel.
Thomas started to make the penetration. Lost. You see the Tigers in that zone again. You hear the coaching staff talk about the shooter in Moss.
Yeah, you're going to have to close out on him properly.
Boy, how about the patience in this half court?
One of the longer possessions, if not the longest we've seen.
Yeah, I'm a little bit shocked right here. They've held onto the ball this long. Now, a lot of that has to do with defense and trying to find that open shot, too. Thomas got him again. See, I tell you what, and again, I think if he would take that left-hand dribble, you're going to take a look at the play at the other end. There's your 3.
Diehouse with the 3, and then on the other end, he takes the charge. I think he's taken 2 now.
My only point, again, is if Thomas would, instead of initiate the contact, is maybe come about a half foot short of that, he probably would have had a 13, 14-footer right there. But I'm sure Thomas doesn't want to hear that from me anymore because he's still having a good game.
A great year, too.
Yeah, he'll make a nice guard at the next level, and there's a travel. And that'll be the 7th turnover. And, you know, those are the mistakes right there that you see that are unforced, and just got to put that ball on the floor.
When you get a chance, watch how active some of these coaches are. You'll have multiple coaches standing at the same time on both ends, and they are so engaged. They they see the formation, they see the offense or the defense that the opponent is in, and they are calling out orders.
3 is missed by Branson. Well, and I think that the reason being as that foul will be called on 14, which is right out. I think that this is an early season signature win, too, because the quality you're seeing out here. I mean, you can build off this a lot.
It's really good. We don't know all the teams, especially for Henderson County, that are on their schedule. But, yeah, this is as high quality as we have seen on the network this year.
Yeah, I can tell you just by watching these two teams compete, they would give a lot of teams some troubles. If I were coaching, I'd take them off my schedule. There's a foul call the other way by Branson. See, when I was coaching, that's what I did. I tried to get all the lightweights and get all those wins in. And I don't think my AD let me do that, though. He just kept putting the good teams on. No wonder I didn't win much. It was his fault. Under a minute.
Got to point the blame at somebody.
I do. I passed the buck well. There is another turnover, 2 in a row now for Princeton. Boy, Thomas pushing it quickly up the floor. Good backside help there as Reggie McIntyre saw that wing wide open in the corner, hustled back to knock it out of bounds.
Yeah, Thomas is going to play at 1 speed, but he better be careful throughout the rest of this game. Doesn't want to get into any more foul trouble.
Yeah, he has only been out seconds for the Colonels.
He's been out 2 separate times for a matter of seconds.
That'll be a foul call on Reginald McIntyre. Yeah, and they get him back in very quickly. They don't waste a whole lot of time. We will see Davenport come back in. Really nobody in big foul trouble. You have Diehouse with 2 for the Tigers. You have Rideout with 3. Thomas has 2. We had a person point out to us in the first half that you had very limited fouls. It's a little bit more now. They're going to keep things under control here in the second half. Nice lob underneath. Oh, and missing the shot up close. It'll be Princeton basketball as Max Thompson in the lineup for the first time. Couldn't get it to go, and the deflection out of bounds.
Again, it was Thomas. He's so crafty, and he's so good in space when guys are crashing on him, and he finds that dump down. Got to be able to convert that. I think Thompson is in for the first time also, so he's got fresh legs, maybe not used to the pace of the game quite yet.
Yeah, I'd be a little nervous myself just now checking in after watching it from the bench. Boy, there's a travel that they missed and a push-off that they missed by Reggie McIntyre. He got away with 2 there. 40-38 after 3.
Tri-State Orthopedics is the leader in orthopedic care, with 35 providers treating nearly 30,000 patients each year. Our orthopedic specialists have the expertise and experience to treat the most common and complex conditions. For care you can trust, visit tristate-ortho.com today. Tri-State Orthopedics is the leader in orthopedic care, with 35 providers treating nearly 30,000 patients each year. We're excited to welcome Dr. Nicholas Rensing to our Evansville locations, as well as our new Vincennes location now open. For care you can trust, visit tristate-ortho.com today.
Your wife makes you go to a T. Back here, 40-38. Yes, we did mention T again. Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to play 8 minutes of, we've already played 3 quarters of solid basketball. We've got another strong 8 coming. Now you start thinking, Jared, what's the difference? What do you got to do here in these final 8 minutes to get this win?
I wonder how much each team will decide to try to slow things down. You know, you obviously want to play to win, and each team has kept their pace up for quite some for this entire game. But I wonder if they'll try to slow things down, run through a little bit more, offensive sets where they're getting certain guys open or they're getting a certain look.
We're getting a look right here at Reginald McIntyre. He is right in front of our broadcast area. You notice the shorts aren't short anymore. They're short. They're not long the way they used to be.
It's the new style. It's coming back. All the old things from your time are coming back.
The old things. Thanks, I appreciate
that.
Yeah. We are into the fourth quarter. They skip past twice. Missed the three by Jenkins. He has not scored, I think, in the second half.
No, he hasn't, and he's their leading scorer on the season, and there's the leading scorer on the other side.
How about Thomas now with 12? Here's a shot from the left wing, another three. No. Offensive rebound by Diehouse. And I think we have a jump ball here. Yep. And possession error will go to the Colonels.
Well, you don't want to give Jenkins two good looks back-to-back. They began things off with a flare screen to get him open and then switches corners, but still, like you said, has not scored since that first quarter.
Lead is at 4. It hasn't been to 4 in a while. For the ball tipped. 11 turnovers now by the Colonels. 3-on-2 break. Back the other way, running the floor and running it well is Jenkins, getting his first 2 in the second half.
Third time's the charm for this fourth quarter for Jenkins. He's back into the scoring column.
We saw this Henderson County team in their last possession before that layup they made. They work it inside and get the quick bucket, but they'd really put the ball around that perimeter several times, and that's going to be a foul call against Moss.
That offense has been there the entire game for Henderson County, where they're driving and they're dumping it down. Usually it's been right out. Occasionally it's been McKinney. But with how good the guard play is, you have Davenport, Moss, and Thomas, who are tremendous shooters, and they can drive it in. And so you have so much attention on them. Well, that leaves open your right out and your McKinney.
Here is Reggie McIntyre, still looking to score here this afternoon. He's 0 for 2 from the line, now make it 0 for 3 as he misses the front end of the 1-and-1. Still a 4-point lead here for the Colonels. Thomas will reset it. He's been running the point for the most of the part here today, but Moss, along with Davenport, will work out front. Trying to get the shooter open here on the near side, and turnover. Got caught in the air. There's 12, and back the other way, and missing the layup. The tip up, no. Another offensive rebound. It goes out of bounds, and Princeton couldn't buy a basket right there.
Oh, both McIntyres had a crack at it. Still, Reggie hasn't been able to score, and then his brother comes flying through. Luckily, they'll get another chance at it. This is kind of a big possession because Princeton didn't score too much in the third quarter, and now they're starting off with a drought 2 minutes in.
3 missed again.
That's a good guy to try to get you out of a drought.
Well, how about the push right there by Thomas? Here's a 3 back the other way, and now the shots aren't falling either way. As Davenport missed it, it goes out of bounds. We'll go back again to the Tigers.
Yeah, the Tigers are real lucky that one doesn't go down for Davenport. You can't get much of a better look. And that would have made it a 7-point ball game, and that's territory that you haven't been in this entire ball game.
Things get a little tighter, though, don't they? You're about this stage of the game. Sometimes players start thinking about, should I shoot it? Should I not shoot it? McIntyre on the drive, missed another one. Oh, my. Tigers unable to buy a basket here late. Thomas on the drive. Skip pass down the lane, contact, no whistle. That's a turnover. And then they step out of bounds as Reggie McIntyre gives it right back. Well, we're seeing some mistakes here late. We've got a 30-second timeout here called by the Colonels. Want to remind you again, when we're done here, it'll be about a 10-minute break. There's your lineup for the rest of the day, and I am really looking forward to this next game. Jeffersonville, Sharon Wilkerson is back. He'd gone to Logansport for a little bit to coach up there, and then when the opportunity came, he's back at his alma mater, and I watched him, and I'm sure you did too, when he played in college in Indiana and had his run-in with Bob Knight and such, but he's back coaching at Jeffersonville, and they're generally pretty good.
This first game has really set the bar pretty high, but it is going to be a very good second game. We're anticipating tremendous height. Jeffersonville, 6'8" with Ben Kalanji, 6'7" with Trey Singleton. Singleton's just a sophomore also, and then Evansville Christian has Luke Davis at 6'7", and then a plethora of guys that are 6'3" and above. We could see a kind of a totally different type of ball game in game number 2. And then, of course, Josiah Dunham, who's having a fantastic season at 26 points per contest.
Yeah, they are very good, essentially year in and year out. Here's a 3 on the way. That one's missed, and that'll be a rebounding foul against Davis, his second.
Man, that offense looks too easy for Moss to have that good of a look.
Well, he hasn't scored in the second half either. I mean, neither team able to bury some shots here in the last minute or so.
Yeah, so far this second half, Henderson County scored 15 points after having 29 at halftime. And then for Princeton,
oh boy,
they've only scored 9 points this half.
That's another miss in the front end of the 1-and-1. 2 in a row. Nice pass underneath, layup good. Davis, and give the assist to Thomas.
Thomas has a good amount of assists. Going back to that same point again where it's you drive in and then you just find your dunk down guy.
Well, the Colonel's really forcing the Tigers out away from the basket beyond the three-point line.
We saw that back in that first half when guys like Mowry were starting to knock down threes.
There's a 3, and that one almost goes in. That potentially could have been a 4-point play, and that's going to put Reginald McIntyre at the line for 3. They're going to get Branson his second foul. Boy, they always tell you, do not foul the three-point shooter. Your momentum a lot of times will take you toward the offensive player, but you got to learn to hold up. You know why I didn't have to worry about that in my day?
Why is that?
We didn't have a three-point line.
Oh. You go back that far, huh?
Oh, come on now. Those are the good old days of basketball. We didn't let you guys, young guys, carry it and all that other stuff.
The good old days when your teams were averaging 30 points per game.
I won't bring up your gambling if you don't bring up my...
Oh, here we go.
46-43. That's going to be a foul on Reggie McIntyre. Take that back. Reginald, his second. I do have to point out that last night was not one of your better nights, right?
It was not. It was not what I'm accustomed to, that's for sure.
I know I've been teasing you a little bit about doing these 3 games for free now, but
yeah. The air in Evansville, there's just something about it. I don't know.
I think it was who you sat to.
Next
to last night.
I sat in the wrong seat, I guess.
Yeah. Drive, contact, nothing. Thomas may have got away with one there. Floater off the glass, good. Moss getting his first 2 here in the second half.
That's such a huge no call because now, depending on what happens here on this possession, it could be a swing for. First, the foul isn't called, and then Henderson County scores those 2.
I'll tell you what, the Tigers having a little more difficult time finding a good look right here. Spin in the lane, shot no, and that'll put McDaniel at the line for 2.
Well, that's how you want to attack the zone. Just throw it into that high post. McDaniel was in that area. McDaniel put on a pretty nice spin move to get to the free throw line.
By the way, Rideout picked up his 4th, and there's some big free throws here from McDaniel. Ooh. They have missed tonight 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They've missed 5 free throws in this game. They've missed 3 crucial ones, actually 4 crucial ones here in the fourth quarter. You missed the front end of 2 1-and-1s, and then you just missed 2. They're going to be a tough call there against Thomas. They got him for his 3rd, and that'll be the 14th turnover.
That one wasn't as much as what his other 2 fouls looked like. We weren't going to see fouls called like that in the first half, but now we're seeing a lot more of the closer contacts getting called.
That is the 10th team foul on the Colonels. Well, they cover up so well in that corner. They don't want to allow any threes. You can kind of see that zone's been extended a little bit.
Yeah, it is. Davenport and Moss are playing kind of out towards the volleyball line. That's a good dump down.
Oh, my. A miss underneath there by McDaniel, and a foul call off that rebound. I think they got Moss.
Colonel fans, I think, wanted to travel before McIntyre got fouled.
Free throws for Princeton, number 23, Reginald McIntyre.
So here is Reginald McIntyre. Now, he's been pretty good at the line here today until there. He had hit his first 3.
What are you doing, Troy?
I know that's always the announcer's jinx, right?
Well, free throw shooting has been abysmal.
Well, they've missed 5 in a row now, 6. They've missed 6 free throws in a row. 2 two-shot free throws and 2 1-and-1.
And they're really trying to get Thomas another foul.
Here's a 3, wide open, and yes, this time it'll be Moss.
3rd 3 for Dwayne Moss. The sophomore had 2 in the first quarter. Had gone cold since, but he's up to 13 points, and that forces a timeout.
Tigers want to talk about it here in the fourth quarter as they trail it by 8. It'll be a 30-second timeout, so they're going to preserve the full timeout. Take a look at this 3. Boy, they backed off him, too.
Yeah, everybody kind of out of sorts defensively. It looked like Jenkins was following somebody in that corner, and he's up in that on that side of the 2-3 zone, and Moss kind of made sure he stayed there. Again, I gave a pass fake and then realized I'm super wide open. I don't think this is what's supposed to happen.
Well, maybe if you look at what Henderson has done in extending their zone to make sure that they're not going to get beat by the 3, you might look at back the other way. For Princeton, you got to find those 3-point shooters. You're down by 8 right now. You cannot leave anybody open at any point the rest of the way.
Henderson County has limited Princeton to just 5 points in this quarter. The zone defense has stifled Princeton. Meanwhile, Henderson County still able to locate some of their shooters, and nice give and go.
Yeah, you watch these Colonel guards, how far they're out. They're going to force you to take it down the lane. Boy, there was a foul there, but McIntyre able to hit the tough bucket.
Yeah, I think somebody gave McIntyre a high five on his shot.
So now you can run a little clock if you want to right here as you see Thomas. Got to be within a foot or so. Boy, nice play right there, getting the defender to go down. Diehouse guarding out on the perimeter. Drive, and we've got a foul, and that's going to put Thomas at the line for the first time today.
Kind of surprised by that, too.
Yeah. As many times as he has taken the ball into the lane, as strong as he is. By the way, it'll be Reggie McIntyre picking up his 4th. Under 2 minutes remaining as you see Thomas hit a big free throw. They've only been to the line 4 times, and they've hit all 4 according to my scorebook. Eight free throws missed by Princeton, and we mentioned 6 of those missed here in the fourth quarter. Second one really flat. Now that will tell you if you're tired. Legs might be a little tired at this point for Thomas.
Oh, good pass.
Layup good. There is Reggie McIntyre.
The pass from McDaniel right on the money.
But I guess the good news is, Jarrett, I only gave up a 2, not a 3.
That's right.
And then I get open underneath. If you gamble on defense like that and you don't get back, McKinney gets the easy layup.
McKinney's had a really quiet 9 points, and it's all been where his guard play has been tremendous, and he's been open on the block.
Lead at 7.
Tri-State Orthopedics is the leader in orthopedic care, with 35 providers treating nearly 30,000 patients each year. Our orthopedic specialists have the expertise and experience to treat the most common and complex conditions. For care you can trust, visit tristate-ortho.com today. Tri-State Orthopedics is the leader in orthopedic care, with 35 providers treating nearly 30,000 patients each year. We're excited to welcome Dr. Nicholas Rinsing to our Evansville locations, as well as our new Vincennes location, now open. For care you can trust, visit tristate-ortho.com today.
And that's just fundamental basketball. Just don't lose sight of either one. But it's a 7-point lead, under 90 seconds remaining, so Princeton in this fourth quarter, as we mentioned, not just the free throw, but they've missed some shots that I'm sure they'd love to have back.
There's something else I'm just now noticing, Troy, is we haven't seen Edwin Holmes at all in this half. He's sitting on the bench with, looks like, some ice wrapped around his ankle.
Yeah, he was big in the first half with 8, and I haven't seen him in the second half much at all. Tigers turn it over. That's number 10. Back the other way. Here's Thomas. Basket good. And he'll go to the line for 1. Boy, he does everything.
Yes, he does. You can't ask for much more from Gerard Thomas. And on this season, averaging an impressive 21 points and almost 8 rebounds.
Well, if we had a player of the game, it's probably him, wouldn't you say? Just everything he's done today.
Early on, we got a really early feel of how he was going to kind of be a floor general and patrol the offense. And he has stuck with it. He committed a couple of turnovers where he kind of maybe got a little too fancy, got himself up in the air. He has to make a pass, but he cleaned up his play, and he has been a superstar today.
Lead is at 10. The 4-shot inside by Reginald McIntyre. He took one to the mouth right there as he heads to the other end. But boy, you look down the stretch here for the Tigers, not able to hit some key shots. And then those missed free throws, the lead at 10. One thing he does well, speaking of Thomas, he passes well with one hand too.
Yeah, he's crafty. He's been making underhand passes like a softball, kind of some sidearm action.
Jason Jenkins. Jenkins, we talked about his scoring ability coming in. 5 in the first half, only 2 in the second half. Davenport at the line, and that's one other big difference you see right here is that the Colonels hitting the free throws here in the fourth quarter. Big win here for the Colonels.
It sure is. They dropped their last game against University Heights, and now they're back above 500. And things don't get easier for Princeton either. They're playing in the Gibson County tournament up next against Bar Reeve, who's a historically very good basketball program.
Pull-up shot no good by Reggie McIntyre, and the 12-point ball game right now. They'll just let him play it out. And what a first game here. Henderson County, Kentucky, the Colonels got everything they wanted from Princeton, but they will pick up the win here in our first game of the tournament. The final score, Henderson County 59, Princeton 47. And what a ball game we had.
It was a lot closer of a game than what the score is going to replicate, though. It was close the entire way. Princeton actually led at the half by 2 points. For Henderson County, 5 guys with 9 points or more today, Troy. Just a total team effort, sharing the basketball. They crashed the O-boards pretty well. They led in a lot of good categories like assists and rebounds to get this victory over Princeton.
Game 1 in the books. Game 2 coming up in about 10 minutes right here on IndianaSRN.